All right, so we just finished a day and a half at Mesa Verde National Park as a family. We're at the visitor center here. I'm on the backside where it's nice and quiet. And I just wanted to give a little overview of what we did and what we thought and some tips that I wish I had known. The first thing I'll say, which was unexpected to me, is just how beautiful this park is. I kind of thought this park was all about the archaeology and the cliff dwellings. And of course that is the focus, but the park itself is gorgeous. This is just one tiny little feature, but there's canyons, and I would say that they are as interesting and as beautiful as the canyons in Black Canyon of the Gunnison. They are as interesting as the Grand Canyon, but without the massive size. And so even if you're not interested in the cliff dwelling stuff, and you don't have any interest in archaeology or anything like that, it is a really cool park to visit, and I was totally surprised by that. Anyway, so we stayed one night in Moorfield Campground. I made another video about our campsite. It's all right. It's nothing special. It's nothing you'll write home about, but it does the job. From Moorfield all the way down to where all the action happens down here can take anywhere from a half hour to an hour, depending on if you get stuck behind some folks. We did a tour of Balcony House in the morning, and we did a tour of Cliff Palace in the afternoon. And they are shown here. That's Balcony House, and that's Cliff Palace. So far as I know, you cannot see Balcony House from the car or from the lookout or from the road or anything like that, but you can walk to a lookout where you can look at the Cliff Palace without getting a tour or tickets or anything like that. I will say that Cliff Palace, is more interesting for adults. It's more of a look and see, and it's the largest collection of rooms and buildings. They said there's like 150 total rooms, although they're in many layers, and so you don't necessarily see them immediately. Balcony House is really just like a two-room site with these kivas, these round holes in the ground, which their meaning is debated, but it's much more of a interactive. It's something the kids liked a lot more. You got to climb up more ladders, you got to squeeze through little tunnels, you had to crawl, and so the kids, all three of my kids, liked it quite a bit more. One thing that was not obvious to me is that there are a lot more sites than just these ones here at the top, the main ones. There's lots of smaller ones that you can see, and so getting a tour is quite difficult. They're highly competitive, and if you don't get one, I still would recommend coming. We kind of had the impression that if you don't get a tour, don't bother coming because they're that good and that important. I disagree with that, and perhaps I misinterpreted people's comments. Looking at these things from the lookout is very cool. Of course, being in among them and getting some tips and information from the rangers is helpful, but I wouldn't say it's like not worth it without those things. So yeah, very beautiful. It's very exposed, so sun screen and hats and all that kind of stuff is important, but I would recommend it. I would recommend it quite a bit more than I thought I would be recommending it. And again, if you're interested in the archaeology, great. If you're not, it still is beautiful, and the canyons that the cliffs are built into are breathtaking, and there's lots of good hiking, all that kind of stuff. So I hope that gives you a little bit more of a look and feel of Mesa Verde National Park, and I hope it helps.